So this is my speech I'm to inform you guys on the effects of too much stress for college kids. I'm Lauren Brighto. In 2008, there was a study done that 8 out of Cambridge college students said they had frequent amount of stress on a day-to-day period over a 3-month span. And this was a raise of 20% in 5 years from a study previously done in 2003. If that much has been raised in 5 years, you can only imagine how much has been raised in 20 or 10 years, like at now. That's why I think it's important to know the effects of stress on your body and the different ways that it can affect you, so you can see those signs to potentially take care of them, just do something about it. The first one I'm going to go over is physical stress and how those effects on the body. It can be like things from your hair falling out to breaking out in your face to more like from instant stress. Like right now giving this speech, I have dry mouth, I have clammy hands, I am shaking, my chest is blotchy. So there's those short-term ones, but there's also the long terms of muscle soreness, chronic pain, chronic headaches, insomnia. Those can be from pre-existing conditions, like apresia is your hair falling out from too much stress, but there's also more instant ones of like tense muscles. Your muscles are so tense that when you finally relax, they're sore. It can also affect your immune health, getting sick more often. Studies have shown that students with more intense majors, i.e. like nursing or engineering, they're more likely to get sick than other students. And if you're sick or stressed for longer periods of time, they said 2 years, you are quadruple amount, like more likely to get sick. And being in college for 4 years, that's 4 years of being stressed. So you can only imagine like how stressed and how sick you can get from that. You can also pick up unhealthy coping habits with stress. So like physical actions, from biting your nails to just binge drinking on the weekends can be stress induced. For me personally, like for long-term stress, my hair will fall out and I will get breakouts on my forehead. This one is just from today's speech, so just for you guys. But since we can see the physical effects of stress, this one I think is a lot more, like, if you have it, your friends can say something. But I think a more important one is the mental effects of stress on the body. And it's 40% of students said they felt an overwhelming amount of stress from course loads the past year, over like a course of a year. And 64% of dropouts said they dropped out from a mental illness, while 80% of us feel like we have an overwhelming of stress right now at this current moment. And 45% of those students lead to hopelessness, and that hopelessness is what brings us into depression, anxiety, and bipolar disorder. And ironically, when you have depression, it can make you want to put things off and lose motivation. And so you put your work off, and it causes more stress, which causes more depression. So you're in this like loophole, and that's why I put this picture of Kylie Jenner. And I think that's not anything to joke with, because suicide is the 3rd leading cause of death on college campuses at this point in time. Mental health is not to be confused with my final topic, which is emotional health. The definition of emotional health is based roughly how relaxed and your state of mind from a day-to-day process. So to clear it up from mental health even further, you can be sad one day, which is poor emotional health, but you're not diagnosed with depression, which is poor mental health. Or vice versa, you can be laughing and happy in that moment, but not be diagnosed with depression, or you can be diagnosed with depression at the same time, which is poor mental health. And stress can affect your emotional health by making you more agitated and likely to snap at people. It can make you lose patience. It can kill your motivation on that day. Like I was telling Ian earlier, like I wanted to work out tonight, but I was so stressed over this speech, I don't think I'm going to. But while these 3 topics are the one I've gone over, it's not limiting to how it affects you and college students particularly, because it can affect your academic health and your grades, to your social health and going out with your friends and everything. So in conclusion, in college we are often exposed to an excess amount of stress, and it affects our bodies in different ways, physically, mentally, and emotionally. It is important to recognize these different effects before they get out of hand. While stress in college is to be expected, I hope knowing the effects of too much stress is helpful and potentially enriches your college experience overall.